My friends, it is the eve of July 4th. It is 5 o'clock Eastern Time, 5:09, I should say, Eastern Time on the East Coast of the country, New York City. It's a beautiful day today. It's about 80-something degrees, and I say to you, welcome, and Ohio, hello, and Ohio, silver to you, as we again celebrate the eve of our nation's birthday, our 249th birthday. And I am so happy to be with you today, sharing this day, the beauty with you, reminding you again how lucky we are to be able to speak clearly, to be able to speak bravely about that which we want to talk about. And it's important for you to recognize that fact. And it's important for you also to be able to remember that you should be able to discuss everything and anything you want. Everything and anything you want. I think there should be some minimal rules of decorum. I think we can talk about language and things like that. But short of that, my friends, short of that, I think we have to do something to focus on and to deal with this idea, this notion, dare I say, of just celebrating our speech. And one of the most important things for us is to distill what happened with Diddy. If you notice the way I've been handling this, if you notice the way I speak about this, I'm not interested necessarily in the facts of the case. The facts of the case are interesting. Yes, we can debate that all day long. We can talk about whether he was a pimp, because he was actually adjudicated a pimp. And by the by the same understanding, according to this, our friend, your friend, Cassie was adjudicated a prostitute. And I want you to understand something. A prostitute in our society, at its default level, is somebody that is considered not to be revered, not to be respected, not to be, really not to be, frankly, much of anything. And the reason for that is very simply this. We view in our world a prostitute as being someone who has sold her soul, sold the essence of who she is. And later on we can find out maybe it was because of hard times, maybe it was because of some type of forced fraud or coercion, maybe it was somebody who was forced into this. But in the event when somebody quote, voluntarily, knowingly sells herself, we are of the belief and of the perception, if you will, that that's different. That is a different situation where she is not necessarily to be lauded. We refer to somebody who prostitutes their wealth, who prostitutes themselves, who prostitutes. It is not a good thing. So when people are saying Cassie and Jane Doe number one may have been adjudicated a prostitute because he was adjudicated a pimp by virtue of this Mann Act prosecution. He was adjudicated of having transported her over state lines. You see what I'm saying? He has transported her over state lines. You got that? So consequently, he's a pimp, she's a prostitute. There is absolutely nothing in any way admirable about that. Societally beneficial, nothing. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. There's nothing good about being a pimp. There are people like Snoop Dogg and these folks who actually went out of their way to say they were a pimp. All of these folks are despicable. Let me just start off by saying something before we begin. This is where we should get. He is the lowest of the low, a slime ball, a pustule. He's not a mogul. A lot of people in Hollywood, in the music business, are the most despicable of debauched souls. All of them. I despise them. I do. There's nothing remotely honorable about them in the least, but because we live in a society where we laud and herald and promote these people to all these levels, we think, oh, they're terrific. Nothing. Put that aside. Remember, I'm always going to be saying, put that aside. Put that over here. Put that in this part, this neck of. Always compartmentalize. Never lose the ability to do that. F. Scott Fitzgerald said the quality of a brilliant mind, the quality of the superior intellect, is somebody who's able to handle two or more seemingly inconsistent stimuli simultaneously and handle them and work with them. So in this category we have, there's nothing about these people. Nothing. I'm sorry, maybe it's me. Maybe there's a racist component to this. I will admit, because I wasn't brought up in this particular type of music. But I do not put them in the same category as the Beatles or the Stones for that matter. Absolute revolutionaries, though on paper they are. They certainly are. That's number one. Number two, there is a form of woman today more than ever who has become and who is absolutely, positively, pathologically out of her mind. There is a form of woman, there is a type of woman, there is a style of woman, there is a I don't know what the word is. There is a type that is, and I'm seeing this all over the place, not necessarily just in terms of entertainment, but just by looking at the number of cases, and I know this is not very scientific, but the number of documented YouTube sensations of Karens losing their minds, violent, crazy, fighting police, obstreperous, obstinate, contumacious, fighting authority. Just it blows my mind. Blows my mind how this happened. It's just incredible. There's something going on here. There's something. The notion of femininity is gone. It's turned into and I can't believe I'm sounding ultra, perhaps ultra, I don't know, judgmental. But it's like this is the age of the trollop, the courtesan, the slattern. I'm serious. Where OnlyFans has done more to assist in the orchestrated societal debauchery of women. OnlyFans is disgusting. Disgusting. And anybody who does that has sold their life, their soul, their being. It's legal. I'm not going to get into the mechanics. Just because something is legal, it's the lowest form ever. I don't care what anybody says. There was a time when people would say, well, in adult movies, I want to say adult movies. They even called it adult movies. It is nothing but, and I'm sure there's a particular bit of talent that one must have. I'm seriously, in terms of the actual physical demands of it. But there's a lot to be said for the Eskimo Olympics. It doesn't matter either. But there is something so vile about that. Think about that. There's nothing even, nobody ever says, we really admire you. Hey, isn't that great? Isn't she terrific? There was a time when maybe in the 60s or so, or was it 70s, when Linda Lovelace, that was basically owned by the mob. And it became, again, I'm using the word too much, kitschy, where times where Jacqueline Kennedy and Henry Kissinger went to the premiere of that. But there's something vile about it. I don't want you to do me a favor. I don't want you to stand up for something. This has nothing to do with being a Republican or Trump, but I want you to join me in saying this is vile. It's okay. Be moralistic. I'm not saying it should be illegal, but it's vile. It's disgusting. And these people are vile. And these people they have no redeeming qualities whatsoever. And it is important, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Is that wind I hear? That's so fast. It's sunny 1 second, and then, but the apps are always correct. Please, let us do something to celebrate women. Before we get to Maureen Comey, that is the dirtiest case. If you can't see what's happening there, you're not a member of the conspiratorium. That's over here. That's another spinning plate. It's another spinning plate. We have to do something, my friends. We have to do something to reacquaint, celebrate, and herald the women. Not only are women being destroyed in terms of, because they're being reduced to trollops. Women today are being told, and young women are being told, that if you want to be of any particular note or have any significance whatsoever, you must be a trollop. You must be insignificant. It must be about your face and your body and your sex and what you can do. That's it. Talent, brains mean nothing. Do not aspire to be a mother. Do not aspire to be a wife. Do not aspire to have any family life. And you're going to see the pendulum come back like a wrecking ball. You're going to see young men and women realize that that was the way to go. I don't know how long it'll take, but it will happen. It will happen. I don't know when it went south, but it was a slow decline. But it was always, to an extent, the, quote, bad girl. And that took there were no such thing as the bad boy or the bad man, because they were all of that matter for the man. But the slattern, the slut, the trollop. I'm sorry. This, I've never seen it more like this in my life. And I keep thinking what little girls must think. This is not the way to go. There's nothing. Women who claim they're going to have 1,000 men in the night, just how is this even? Why isn't there public shaming? You don't understand something. Sometimes it is confused. People think that we're prudes or we're close-minded. No. The only reason that I say this is because I respect women. And I think it's a very sad thing. Now, when you don't feel a particular disgust towards any type of exploitation of a person, or it might be because of the fact that, well, maybe it's a particular category of people you don't really have an affinity for. For example, I know this sounds bizarre example, but I'll give it to you. There was a while in the state of Florida and elsewhere where there was this controversy called dwarf tossing. And dwarf tossing was this event where they would take little people, put them into a type of a harness device, and throw them like you would, I don't know, just, I don't know if the word is, throw them as far as possible. Just toss them. And whoever could throw the dwarf for the little person the farthest won some type of an award, and people went crazy over this. They said, you can't do this. He said, you can't do this. This is disgusting. This is horrible. This is whatever it is. Okay, fine. To make a long story short, because people did not know a little person, because people seem to look at little people almost as a novelty to begin with, even though they're so rare in our population, they really are. They really are. You don't see a lot of. It didn't matter to them because they don't know them. But we all know women. And we know women, and we hold women to the highest of levels. During the 60s, when blacks were portrayed as pimps and drug addicts and degenerates, and black people were given always street black urchin types, many people did not find that to be problematic because they thought, well, I don't know that many black people. I don't hold a lot of black people in high esteem. I'm sorry. Some people thought this. So I'm not going to get upset over how black people or dwarfs or whatever are depicted in culture. But we know women. We have a mother. We have a sister. We have a wife. It is universal. I know people aren't going to follow what I just said, but I don't really care. Either you get it or you don't. Because they are so familiar to us. We recognize it. And what is happening to women is an abomination, an absolute abomination. From the time little girls are taught, to be aware, they are seeing that the only time they get any attention is through sexual. That's it. And OnlyFans is the wholesale commercialization, granted self-employed, but the commercialization and the complete ruination of self-respect. That's absolutely the truth. Whether you think so or not, whether you agree with it, it is the last. And then this week, finally, in the case of the University of Pennsylvania, finally, somebody at least addressed the absolute logical, intellectual, and spiritual travesty of a 6'4" man competing against women. And women didn't even realize that the worth, the subject matter, the specific denotation of woman was so disregarded by society, so unnecessary, so of no concern, that they didn't realize what happened. Because you never see women trying to engage in and invade male sports, because why? They would suck at that type of event. You know it and I know it. They would suck at this. It would be the worst. You're not going to see a woman in the NBA. Ever. Why? Because they can't play. They'd be terrible. It would be a disaster. You would never see it. And the thing about it is that I think a lot of folks on our side spoke up about it. A lot of women did. A lot of athletes did. Riley Gaines did. But the left didn't care anything about this because they don't see. They have no ability to peer behind the curtain and see what's really going on here. Now, as far as Diddy goes, Maureen Comey, Pam Bondi, why is she with the Department of Justice? James Comey's daughter, she set this up. She was involved in this. Not only does she prosecute this, she is privy to all the data, all the FBI surveillance, all the facts, all the files, all the intel, all the discovery, stuff that doesn't even make it into trial. Why are you letting the daughter of the most corrupt FBI director, head, deep state operative, why are you letting his daughter run the show? Anybody have any idea? Mr. President, I don't know who's running your show. I don't know who's running your palace. I heard one of the most incredible indictments the other day from Max Blumenthal about the president's immediate cabinet, from Susie Wiles to the head of CIA to everybody, that where these folks are coming, that these are basically alums of BB Academy. I want you to listen to me, to today's show. Number one, I want to give you something that I don't think anybody's talking to you about, a perspective that, and again, I'm going to say it again, the way women are discredited, especially by women, is just despicable. That's number one. Number two, we're going to be seeing a revolution in this country, really, really serious. And I want you to pay attention, close attention to the Zohran Mamdani case here in New York. And this is not for people just to make quips and, you know, laugh. This is serious business. This is a beta test. And number three, the Diddy case is so interesting. Question number one, what will happen to him after this? And by the way, anybody who does not find this interesting, I'm sure there's other great channels to go to, and we will not be offended in any way if you leave. I know people are very proud to say, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I know. You're free to leave. I'm just saying this. Just don't ever feel any kind of compulsion to follow this through. Because the Diddy case, like the OJ case, like the Michael Jackson case, have more societal implications than you can imagine. So number one, what is going to happen to Diddy after this is over? He does his case. He does his 3 years or a year and a half, or it's going to be minimum. I know this judge is going to have to act tough. Why the judge did not grant bail, I don't know. The purpose of the Eighth Amendment, the purpose of bail, is to ensure appearance and protect society. Do you think that Diddy, outside of jail, as he awaits sentencing, is going to try something now? When he is a hero in some respects, he is going to hurt somebody, threaten somebody, harm somebody now, as he awaits some piddly. He could do a year and a half, 3 years standing on his head. It's nothing. With credit for time served? No, it's nothing. You got to be crazy. And though Cassie is saying, please, I'm so afraid of him. You weren't afraid of him when you took $20 million of his money. You weren't afraid of him when you, I guess, when you took 10 mil from that hotel for basically releasing the tape. I guess you didn't fear of him when you said repeatedly in messages, I like freak-offs. You were with him for years. You were his arm candy or whatever it is. You were a part of this. You were a complete and total 100% willing participant. And don't give me this bullshit about how you were psychologically crushed, yoked, enslaved to this Svengali, this Rasputin. Bullshit. You're a liar. All of these are the most despicable people. You do such a disservice to women and children who have been trafficked and are trafficked, and nobody's going after them. Do you know how many of these unaccompanied minors who have just disappeared and been disappeared in our culture? Anybody have any idea? Anybody? You want to talk about trauma bonding? I'll talk about that. How about women who came here, little girls, little boys, girls mostly, but boys too, sold to cartels, put up as chattel slaves. What about them? Anybody speaking for them? No. And you're going to give me this one? Cassie is some kind of a victim of sexual assault. Don't embarrass the issue. Don't demean the issue. How dare you? How utterly dare you do this? It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. She actually believes this hype. Not only that, did you see the animals, the savages, the thugs that were swarming outside the courtroom? Women, taking their tops off and smearing themselves with baby oil These are vile pond scum who somehow have aligned themselves with this monosyllabic cretin. This is demented. Again, it's a free country. You can align yourself with anybody you want. But understand what this is about. This is this. Now, when John Gotti was on trial and he was acquitted, people were downtown, they were in Brooklyn and they were threatening to turn cars over, and they did the same thing. They did the same thing. But I'm not trying to compare the two. So question number one, what's going to happen to him? What's going to happen to him? Is he going to be a big shot again? Nope. Is he going to get those liquor deals? No. Anybody going to get near him? No. He'll get street cred, but street cred, there will be no rehabilitation. You know how Snoop Dogg is kind of like, you like him now? This guy was a punk, a pimp, and a ne'er-do-well. Ice Cube, Ice Tea, Ice Tray, whatever the hell. They somehow did that. He won't be able to ever again. Never. He'll have a little bit of respect that goes nowhere. It's like in the mafia when people say, so-and-so, he did 20 years, never said a word. That's great. He has a lot of respect. What does that mean, respect? You did 20 years. You're a schmuck. But people respect you. That respect and $1 will get you nothing. Nothing. He's going to come out. They're still going to go after. They're going to claw. They wanted all of his assets, whatever that is. I don't know if he owns any of that. He is probably, I'll bet you he owns nothing. It was leveraged, mortgaged. There's no Diddy, there's no music, there's no liquor deals, there's no nothing. What is he going to do? Nothing. And also, he took a hit. That entire genre took a hit. When you look at Jay-Z, because Jay-Z was the other mogul. When you look at, Tyler Perry's different. He's not hip hop, but when you look at these people, Jay-Z and others, you look at them as like, for some reason, they carry the stink and the stank and the stench of Diddy. They carry that. See what I'm saying? They're a part of it. You look at them and realize these are vile. These are vile. All of these people. What is the purpose of it? Oh, they suffered. Believe me, it lost its marketability. Because for the longest time, it's like if you heard about Mick Jagger and underage people and women and freak-offs and Mick Jagger and the Stones and Mick Jagger, and then that could eventually blend into Led Zeppelin and then other people as well, and then rock. And that's what this did. They don't know. He did more to harm the industry than anything you can imagine. He's done. He's finished. Now, in his mind, again, people will say, well, he didn't sell out anybody. What difference does it make? What difference does it make at all? Nothing. What was the point of it? What was the point of any of this? I don't know. What did this bring about? I don't know. We went through 7 weeks of this. And it was also the worst coverage ever because nobody understood what this was about because people wanted to hang on and talk about baby oil, Astrolube, baby oil, Tootsie Roll, baby oil. And this, I got to tell you this much. I'm not going to mention the name, but I happened upon somebody who is in the Fox News orbit. Number one, kept saying, I can't believe when they showed that beating of Cassie, how he said, that did it for me. And I said, that did it for you. That proved trafficking? Sexual trafficking? Racketeering? What do you mean that did it for you? You're a news person. What did that do for you? He didn't even know. I said, what does it have to do? It's a terrible thing. Was that video of Diddy keeping her from leaving, from trying to escape? No. What are you talking about? Where are you getting your news? Is this what they teach you over there? And the other one was, I couldn't believe this. Is there anyone here, yes or no, just answer my question, who believes that our forces, President Trump, destroyed, rendered impotent, moot, damaged, destroyed the Iranian nuclear program? Does anybody believe that there was anybody home at Asfalan or Nadan's or Fordo or anybody? Anybody? Does anybody here really believe that? Does anybody really think? Does anybody disprove what everybody from European agencies and alternative news sources and the rest of the world, everybody from, again, I want to keep going down the list, Judge Napolitano, Colonel McGregor, Jeffrey Sachs, blah, 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 blah. Nobody, Putin, this, nobody, the left, the West, Europe, nobody believes this. Nobody. But he did this. He did this. He actually, this fellow was repeating this, and I can't because I don't want to. He's a good egg, but I'm like, do you really believe this? Tell me you swear fealty to this, but don't tell me you think this is what you believe is going on. There is so much going on in the world. I feel, and maybe you feel the same way, Diddy represents more than anything. This is going to be the end and the attempt by the deep state to compromise, to own, and still own all of the various mysterious goings on of this aspect of society. Maureen Comey is not to be trusted. Why is she still on the team? What does she know from Epstein? Where does this go? Do they have information or dirt on Trump? Is that possible? Is that it? Put it this way. Why wouldn't they use it by now? Evidence like this doesn't get better with age. I don't know. But the very fact that we're asking this question shows an incredulity on our part, which I think means we kind of get it. Why is this happening? Mr. President, what are we doing here? The big, beautiful bill. Who understands the big, beautiful bill? Go ahead. Anybody? I'll save you time. You don't know jack shit about the big, beautiful bill. Sort of. Maybe. Tariffs. Trump liked it. The left doesn't like it. Do you know what they did regarding the AI moratorium? You've got a lot of people. Is Massey? There are people within the Republican Party who love Massey, who just they're going to destroy him. Why? Because he spoke out against Israel, against Bibi. Do you see what's happening here? Do you? Do you really see? Is there anybody here who doesn't say to themselves, enough with this big, beautiful bill? Sign the damn thing, pass it. It's like every other one. We don't understand it. Oh, there are these people. Yeah, there's Rand Paul and there's a Grover Norquist or somebody who comes along and compares about their ring. And then there's Elon bitching and moaning about this is the worst big. Elon, do you think that we believe for a moment that you give a rat's ass about the pork or the government? If this benefited you somehow, if your feelings weren't hurt, if your bromance wasn't disrupted, do you think for a moment that we think for a moment that you would still be against this? Come on. Seriously, come on. Do you think we think that? Does anybody here think that Elon's feelings just weren't hurt somehow? Something was said, I don't know what, Have you ever seen two grown people, the president and Elon Musk, talk so much in public on social media or Twitter? They're like little, like torn, like smitten lovers, spatting and screaming and yelling. I've never seen anything like it. It's the strangest thing. What do you think that's about? Yesterday I was watching, everybody's looking at the screen. What's the vote? Is it going to pass? Yes. Do you know what this bill is? No. Okay. There's something which Ultimate Day, which I think is just so absurd. I mean, it's cute. This alligator Alcatraz is the stupidest goddamn thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm not even going to weigh in on it. It's like, this is... And then when they try to run away, the alligators will eat them up. You're going to say, I think that's hilarious. I don't think that's hilarious. I think it's kind of corny. I think it's kind of sad. It makes us look stupid. It makes us look mean. It makes us, I'm not stupid and I'm not mean. I believe in protecting my borders and protecting the sovereignty. I don't get a kick out of seeing illegals eaten by alligators when they try to escape or whatever the hell it is. I'm not 12 years old. I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand. What is the matter with us? Where is our class? Is this really what being a conservative is? Laughing at these stupid jokes about alligators? Come on. Seriously? Tell me the truth. Do you really? I mean, it's symbolic. Kristi Noem walking around with her hair extensions and, look at me. I mean, and I see Ron DeSantis in the background wondering. I'm thinking, is he ever going to be groomed enough for public office? I don't know. I think his delivery or something. I don't know what it is. He's going to have a hard time with it. A very hard time. Tucker Carlson's been terrific, but he's talking again about Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy. What has Bobby Kennedy done? He can't even answer the question regarding his father. Bobby Kennedy has no affect. He smiles every now and then. He almost is like on the spectrum. And I say that with all due respect. Bobby Kennedy, I was so excited about Bobby Kennedy. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, poor thing. They're still talking about it. So, tomorrow is 4th of July, and I'm getting frustrated. I want a war here. I want a revolution here. I want everybody to go and turn on Zoran Mamdani. It's a weird name. And what we're saying is ABZ, anybody but Zoran. So that you know, Bill Ackman was one of the billionaires who was responsible for trying to remove the various I guess the Ivy League presidents who either allowed, countenanced, or didn't do enough to stop, quote, anti-Semitism. So he's a billionaire. And I thought he was full of prunes and full of hot air because basically being anti-Semitic is protected speech. Being violent is not. Being racist is protected speech. You're not going to kick somebody out of college because they're racist. You're not going to kick somebody out because they say something bad about the government, about the United States. But I'm supposed to kick somebody out because they say something about Bibi Netanyahu? What's the matter with you? This is bullshit. And everybody knows this. And if you watch the Fox News crowd, man, they are so, you know what side. That, I mean, it is like, what are you doing? So this is where I'm thinking, okay, I don't fit in, but that's all right. It's not a deal breaker. Well, guess what? Bill Ackman now is saying he was put all his money behind Eric Adams. Eric Adams is retarded. Eric Adams can't speak English. Eric Adams is an oaf. He's a monosyllabic oaf. But he could very well be the best thing possible. And I'm also realizing that my good friend Curtis Lewa, who I think does not have a chance. He doesn't have a chance. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. But I think the inclination is most people are saying, vote for Eric Adams to beat this Zoran Mamdani. At least you know who Eric Adams is. This Zoran Mamdani is saying bullshit. You know all these, do you know that when you use the term, he's a socialist, he's a Marxist, he's a communist, and I always think to myself, that's not a socialist. This guy is as close to, or at least he thinks he is. He's doing everything but it's as close to a planned government or a planned economy as you can imagine. I mean, it is absolutely brutal what he's doing. Do you hear what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Don't turn your back on this. Don't be one of these idiots who say, are you going to move from New York? Come to Florida. What's that going to do? You go to Publix for me. All right, that's good. Oh, do you know what it would take for people to want to live or move from the biggest city in the nation that has more shit than you can imagine? If there were, for example, free grocery stores or state run or whatever it is, am I going to leave because they have a state run? Well, not really. I'm not leaving because of cannabis stores on every. There's almost as many. By the way, the thing that's the most frequent in New York City are nail salons. Nail salons are every 2 feet there's a nail salon. And I would not be surprised if many of them are basically human trafficking centers. But I'm just, it's a hunch if anything else. Nobody seems to care about that. But that one I must say. Am I going to leave New York because he wants to have free busing? They have these, there's a move around the country to move for free, more low-income housing. Low-income housing. Greenwich, Connecticut had that. Mendham, New Jersey had low-income housing. You're seeing it in Montclair, New Jersey. Really nice places. You're going to see it. You're going to see it all over the place. If right now I find out there across the street from us is a NYCHA housing. On 57th Street, behind Billionaires Row, there was a homeless hotel right by that big across from Carnegie Hill. Did they know it? Did they realize it? Did that mean anything to them? Did they care that in their $1 million that over there in this building that you really can't see people come inside and out? I guess they're in there unless they're hanging outside. I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying don't vote him because there's going to be some, because he wants to defund the police. That's been going on forever. That's not what it is. This is the shadow government's attempt to introduce into the ecosystem, so to speak, a legitimate or as close to a full-fledged socialist as you're going to get. He has to be crushed. Not because it's New York, but it's for the country. The country has to turn. There is nobody, not Chicago, not Gavin Newsom, nobody like this. Eric Adams has Jessica Tisch, who was one of the best police commissioners ever. She blew me away. She didn't look, I don't know what she looked like. I thought, I don't know. She was in charge of sanitation from a billionaire family. She's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It's wonderful. He hired Randy Mastro as a deputy mayor from the Giuliani administration. Brilliant. He's catching on. He's understanding. So what I'm saying is we are under attack. And the first thing that I want to say to this president is that I don't know where your balls are. I don't know what happened to you. I don't know. I thought you were a killer. You're not. You're a lot of talk. You said, oh, I'm going to have Zoran arrested or deported, which is the stupidest thing. He's a citizen. He can never be president, by the way. But he's a citizen. And he's saying these stupid things. And I keep running into these people who are just like these Trump groupies. And I'm saying, say the right things. Watch what you say. Don't just be petulant. And I want to see something big. The big, beautiful bill ain't doing it for me because there's no lasting power. The best thing was, believe it or not, Linda McMahon. I was on a show yesterday, 5 o'clock, called Katz and Cosby with John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby on WABC. And I was sitting in, and we had as a guest Linda McMahon, the education secretary. And she, perhaps in a symbolic move, decided to strip University of Pennsylvania from whatever their status was, and to have Leah Thomas, a man, stripped of his titles, and then everybody who lost him, I don't know how you're going to do this, moved up to the winner and an apology. This nonsense, this bullshit has got to stop. I told you, and I'm going to say it again. Nobody's listening to me. The thing that I would say, I told the president, number one issue is children, but this kind of, this dissolution, this dilution, this evaporation of genders, and how this affects children. Do you hear what I'm saying? It is that simple. It is that simple. This is so critical, so monumentally critical. Can't say it enough. Can't say it enough. This goes beyond anything we've ever seen before. Number one, that, because everybody gets it. Number two, crime. I would say, you're not going to believe this, around the country, illegals do not have the sting that it did before. You may disagree with me, but I know what I'm talking about. Yes, we understand it. But you know what? There have been fewer, according to the records, fewer entries, fewer entrances, fewer border crossings now in the past month or so than in the past, 20 years. It's the most incredible thing anybody's ever seen. I mean, it is incredible how things have changed drastically. It is not in everybody's top of mind awareness. It's not the same. People are not going crazy over that. But the number one issue, and we saw it the other day, is very, very simple. We saw this thing, this incredibly fascinating thing called this, for lack of a better word, this debauched gay pride, whatever, where people were, mimicking the sex act. It was horrid. And I would say, Mr. President, what are you doing? What are you doing? What exactly do you want? You are being handed this. You are being handed this absolute once in a lifetime gift from God. And what are we talking about? You're talking about Iran. Nobody understands it. Nobody understands Iran. Nobody. How do I make that any simpler? What do I say to you? You are, it appears to everybody who sees you, everybody who pays attention to you, sir, good sir, dear Mr. President, you look like you were bought off and paid by Bibi to pursue this bullshit that nobody cares about. Nobody is clamoring for the death of Iran. Nobody. Nobody is talking about the death and the destruction of Ukraine and Putin. Nobody. I don't understand what's the matter with you. I don't understand it. Who is advising you? Or is what you're saying basically, look, I'm stuck. The deal is a deal. They paid me. They put a couple of $100 million. I got to pay them back. They own Congress. What am I going to do? You heard, did you saw Tucker with Ted Cruz? They own Ted Cruz. He owned, forget Diddy. You know what they should do? BB should be called a pimp because Ted Cruz is really Cassie. He is just owned. It's just, I mean, it's incredible. And this Tammy Bruce, oh dear God, where did you get this? She said that we're the greatest country in the world. She said next to Israel. Did you ever think you'd be hearing this? What is it going to take for you to understand what's going on? What is it going to take? What? You think things are going great now? Do you think we're winning? Yay! Not even close. What will it take to get you to open your eyes? What? And what will it get for you to get angry? I did not sit back and, mumble or something, but really get mad. I am so pissed off, it's not even funny. We're not getting anywhere. We're not doing anything. We're letting opportunity slide. Do you understand it? We're letting opportunity slide. We're losing our balance. We're losing our bearing. We're getting too caught up in this stupid Iran and Ukraine thing. Enough with that. We don't have enough weapons ourselves if we need it. What is the matter? Why is there this schism? Why are the smartest people that we listen to aren't even known? So let me tell you something. And I promise you, Pam Bondi, President Trump, nobody in his office is going to say, what the hell is Maureen Comey doing anywhere near any prosecution? She should be out of there. James Comey's daughter at the DOJ? Am I missing something? He doesn't have he's not a killer. He's not ruthless. He's not ruthless. He doesn't understand this. He never went after Hillary. And he doesn't even rue the day. He thinks he's being a nice guy. Or if somehow, I mean, he's a great man. But he seems to pay too much attention to people who are in the news, people who are these big shots. But he doesn't seem to really understand the importance and the criticality of doing the right thing and actually affecting and how do I say this? Actually going after the people that are Americans' enemy. I want you to listen to the Max Blumenthal interview with Judge Napolitano about everybody in Trump's administration. It'll blow your mind. From Susie Wiles all the way down. Blow your mind. You will say, holy shit. Nobody's saying anything. Except what you're taught is, oh, Scott Jennings, he's funny. He's on CNN. What is that about? Listen, we're better than this. Our team is far more sophisticated. And we got to start acting like it. We got to put the flag down, stop the clapping, and say, no, Mr. President. You're on the right track, but the track is over there. You're not going to have a second term. This is it. 4 years goes by. He's maybe 10, 11, 12% of his second term. It goes by in a heartbeat, sir. It goes by. And we have midterms. Let me ask you something. Are we going to win midterms? You feel confident about that? I don't. Do we have a clear message as to what? There's so much division. There's so much. I don't even know what. It's like everything's squishy. So you listen to me, my friends. Don't turn away. Don't get mad. Get angry. I want to win this. I want to destroy the shadow government. I want to destroy them. I'm not kidding around. And hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings because a lot of people love President Trump. Somebody one time the other day said, I get depressed. Depressed? No. All right, my friends? Now, July the 19th at the Cutting Room. Tickets are available. I got a link right there. We are going to blow the doors off because these are like-minded folks. These are These are fellow travelers. Everybody in that room is one of us. Nobody gets thrown out. Nobody is afraid. Nobody gets their feelings hurt. Nobody, what do I say? Nobody, oh, you know what I'm saying. Nobody, you're not going to see any Dems or any losers hanging around there. We're all like-minded. We're a member of the team, so to speak, fellow travelers. So July 19th, tickets go to lionelmedia.com or click the link that is in the comment section here on the piece. Also follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. She did her final Diddy piece with Nancy Grace today, which was just, it'll air tonight at 7. Phenomenal. She owns that. So follow her at Lynn's Warriors. And also tomorrow morning, or tonight, 1 a.m. I keep thinking today's Friday is weird. 1 a.m. to 5, overnights on WABC with me, Lionel. Radioactive, actual terrestrial radio. 50,000 watt mother. Oh, mother. It's syndicated all over the country. Wow. This morning we talked about explosives, which I loved. Tomorrow is, of course, the 4th of July. And remember, kids, how many countries have a 4th of July? All of them. All right, kids, have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you then. Don't ever change me. That's sincerely. Also, go to Lionel Legal. Then they've been going crazy for the best Diddy coverage. People are just coming on board. Because Diddy is not what you think. It's not just about sex. It's about something else. It's about the debauchery. It's about how the entertainment system is becoming almost like the PR world, the public relations world of the deep state and the shadow government. All right, friends, have a great and a glorious day. We will see you next time. And until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. That day.